Syphilis Miasm in the second house with Ketu aspect or conjunction. The second house governs the face, throat, mouth, ears, eyes, and thyroid gland, along with associated hormonal functions. When Ketu aspects or conjoins planets in this house under the influence of the Syphilis Miasm, it brings reduction, degeneration, and destruction to these areas, leading to issues such as sensory degradation, speech impairment, and hormonal imbalances. Ketu's influence causes removal, lack, and depletion, intensifying the syphilitic tendencies of breakdown and deterioration. Sun Ketu, vitality depletion in facial and throat areas. The Sun's natural vitality is diminished under Ketu's aspect or conjunction, leading to loss of energy in the throat, face, and mouth. This can result in throat fatigue, hoarseness, and facial muscle weakening. Thyroid suppression. The Sun's role in regulating the thyroid gland is reduced by Ketu's influence, causing thyroid underactivity or hypothyroidism, leading to slower metabolism and physical exhaustion. Physical manifestations: hoarseness and loss of voice due to weakened throat energy. Hypothyroidism, causing slow metabolism, weight gain, and fatigue. Jupiter plus Ketu, reduction in sensory perception. Ketu reduces Jupiter's expansive qualities, leading to deterioration in sensory functions, particularly hearing and taste. Under the Syphilis Miasm, this manifests as a gradual loss of hearing or dulled taste sensation. Thyroid shrinkage or dysfunction. Jupiter's influence on the thyroid gland is suppressed by Ketu, leading to issues such as thyroid atrophy or reduced thyroid function, causing hormonal imbalances and sluggish metabolism. Physical manifestations: hearing loss and taste disorders. Thyroid dysfunction with reduced energy levels and poor metabolism. Mercury Ketu, speech impairment and cognitive reduction. Mercury's control over speech and communication is diminished by Ketu's influence, resulting in slurred speech, stuttering, or difficulty forming words. Syphilis exacerbates this degeneration, causing a breakdown in cognitive processing related to speech. Nervous system depletion affecting the throat. Ketu's reducing aspect on Mercury weakens the nervous control over the throat muscles, leading to throat fatigue, nerve pain, and difficulty in communication. Physical manifestations: speech issues including stuttering, slurring, and loss of clarity. Throat fatigue and nerve pain affecting communication ability. Mars plus Ketu. Muscle atrophy and inflammation in the throat. Mars governs muscle tone and strength, but Ketu's influence leads to the weakening and atrophy of muscles in the throat and mouth. This results in difficulty swallowing, speaking, or chewing, with chronic muscle degeneration under syphilis. Dryness and inflammation. Ketu diminishes fluid production, leading to dryness in the throat, while Mars's influence causes inflammation. This combination can lead to persistent dryness, inflammation, and ulceration in the mouth or throat. Physical manifestations: muscle weakness in the throat, causing difficulty in swallowing and speaking. Dry throat with chronic inflammation, resulting in pain and ulceration. Saturn Ketu, speech suppression and mental fatigue. Saturn's restrictive influence on speech and communication is further worsened by Ketu's reducing effect, leading to suppressed speech, slow articulation, and mental exhaustion. Under the Syphilis Miasm, this manifests as difficulty expressing thoughts or chronic fatigue when speaking. Emotional detachment. Ketu's conjunction with Saturn increases emotional suppression, leading to emotional coldness and detachment. This can affect the tone of speech, making it sound flat or emotionally devoid. Physical manifestations: slow and suppressed speech with difficulty in articulation. Emotional detachment, leading to a flat or monotonous voice. Rahu's Ketu, opposition or conjunction. Fluid imbalance in the throat. Rahu's tendency to store or retain fluids in opposition or conjunction with Ketu creates an imbalance, resulting in swelling or dryness in the throat. Under syphilis, this can manifest as fluctuating throat conditions, such as periods of fluid retention or extreme dryness. Erratic speech and nervous tension. The opposition of Rahu and Ketu, particularly when affecting Mercury or Mars in the second house, can lead to erratic speech patterns, nervousness and tension in the throat, further degrading communication abilities under syphilis. Physical manifestations: fluctuating throat conditions alternating between swelling and dryness, nervous tension affecting speech, causing erratic or anxious communication. Through these planetary influences of Ketu in the second house, the Syphilis Miasm manifests as speech difficulties, throat and mouth degeneration, thyroid imbalances, and sensory dysfunction, with Ketu's nature driving reduction, depletion, and destruction in these areas. Jupiter, Ketu in the second house, Syphilis Miasm, sensory deterioration and metabolic decline. Ketu's reducing influence diminishes Jupiter's expansive energy, leading to a decline in sensory perception, particularly in hearing and taste. Under the Syphilis Miasm, this can result in progressive hearing loss and a blunted sense of taste, affecting the overall sensory experience. Thyroid shrinkage and dysfunction. Ketu limits Jupiter's ability to support the thyroid gland, leading to thyroid shrinkage or atrophy, which directly impacts the metabolism. This could manifest as sluggish metabolism, difficulty maintaining energy levels, and symptoms of hypothyroidism. Physical manifestations: hearing impairment and diminished taste perception. Thyroid dysfunction causing metabolic issues such as fatigue, weight gain, and lack of energy. Mercury plus Ketu in the Syphilis Miasm, speech and cognitive decline. Ketu reduces Mercury's control over communication and intellect, leading to issues such as stuttering, slurred speech, and difficulties forming coherent thoughts. Syphilis accelerates this process, causing further degeneration in speech faculties and cognitive decline. Nervous system weakness affecting throat. Mercury governs the nervous system, and with Ketu's influence, the nerves controlling speech and throat function become weaker. This manifests as throat fatigue, nerve pain, and difficulty in controlling speech, leading to hoarseness and inconsistent vocal strength. Physical manifestations: speech difficulties, including slurred speech, stammering, or inability to express thoughts clearly. Nerve-related throat fatigue, resulting in difficulty with articulation and communication. Mars plus Ketu in the second house, Syphilis Miasm, throat muscle atrophy and weakness. Mars governs muscle strength, but Ketu's reducing influence leads to muscle degeneration in the throat and mouth, causing difficulties with chewing, swallowing, and speaking. Under the Syphilis Miasm, this can manifest as chronic muscle weakness and loss of control in these areas. Dryness and throat inflammation. Ketu reduces fluid in the body, causing excessive dryness in the throat. When combined with Mars, this leads to inflammation and irritation in the throat, making it difficult to swallow or speak without discomfort. Physical manifestations: muscle atrophy in the throat, causing difficulty in swallowing and speaking. Chronic throat dryness, leading to inflammation and irritation. Saturn plus Ketu in the second house, Syphilis Miasm. Speech suppression and emotional detachment. Saturn's restrictive influence on speech is intensified by Ketu's reducing aspect, leading to slow, suppressed speech, where the individual struggles to articulate their thoughts clearly. The emotional expression in speech is also diminished, leading to a flat tone and lack of emotional engagement. Chronic mental and emotional exhaustion. Ketu's conjunction with Saturn creates a sense of mental fatigue and emotional detachment, where the person may feel disconnected from their emotions. This can manifest as difficulty engaging in conversations or expressing personal feelings, further worsening the communication breakdown under the Syphilis Miasm. Physical manifestations: suppressed speech, with slow articulation and difficulty forming coherent sentences. Emotional flatness, resulting in a monotone voice and disinterest in communication. Rahu-Ketu opposition or conjunction in the second house, Syphilis Miasm, erratic throat conditions and fluid imbalances. Rahu tends to cause fluid retention, while Ketu causes depletion. Together they create an imbalance in the throat, alternating between swelling due to fluid retention and dryness due to lack of moisture. This can lead to fluctuating throat conditions, such as swelling and inflammation followed by periods of extreme dryness. Speech instability and nervous tension. Rahu's erratic energy combined with Ketu's depletion results in inconsistent speech patterns. The person may experience nervous tension while speaking, leading to anxiety, stammering, or frequent pauses in conversation. Physical manifestations. Alternating throat conditions, ranging from swelling to dryness, leading to discomfort and difficulty swallowing. Erratic speech patterns, with nervousness or tension affecting communication. These Ketu conjunctions or aspects in the second house under the influence of the Syphilis Miasm lead to significant issues in speech, throat muscles, thyroid function, and sensory perception, with Ketu driving the reduction, depletion, and degeneration of these areas.